Are the Cowboys going to the playoffs?
In a year where the Redskins are 3-12. Welcome to episode number 20 of the Go For Two podcast. I am your host, Jackson Wallace. I got my buddy, my friend, my pal, Lucas here with me. Lucas, happy holidays, brother.
Yeah. Happy holidays to you and to all the fans and whatnot. All right, or if you're not a fan and you're watching this because you like to make fun of us because we're wearing Christmas hats, that's fine too. Your view still counts. You're not hurting my feelings. All right. You ain't hurting my feelings. For anyone that is not listening, this is the Christmas... Or wait, I'm sorry. I messed that up. For anyone that is not watching, this is the Christmas episode, so we have Christmas hats on. Mine, of course, is a Tennessee Titans one, since this is a sports podcast. But, Jackson...
Little Santa hat. Mine says ho, ho, ho.
Because he is a ho.
True.
So anyways.
Very true. I'm excited to be here, Lucas. I am. Even though... We're recording this early because it's Christmas, obviously.
Yeah. Let them know when it is and what we have just gone through today.
We're literally recording this like midnight Sunday night because obviously we got stuff to do this week because holidays and everything. But this is part depression pod. Okay, I know it's Christmas episode. I'm like, I'm happy too. I'm sure I will be happy on this day. However, I just witnessed my Cowboys get absolutely obliterated by the practice squad of the Philadelphia Eagles, so I'm not too happy.
Yeah, this is a 3-part episode. All right, some of it's depression, some of it's hope for the future, and then some of it is festivities of the festiest variety.
I like that description. Festivities of the festiest varieties.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lucas.
Look, Jackson, I'm having trouble, bro. I don't know which side my hat needs to be going to.
Dude, my thing keeps popping down and hitting me in the face. My little ball here.
We won't talk about that, but
it's probably not a good thing to talk about.
Anyways, we do have some other stuff we need to talk about, right? Plenty of sports related stuff. It's been a packed Sunday. But first we need to I think we need to do, celebrate a little Christmas. All right, we need to.
Yeah. Tis the time of giving. Tis the time for cheer.
Yeah, sadly, it's also the time of stress and depression because, look, this is what happens at Christmas time. All right, you're either getting a gift for someone you don't want to get a gift for, you get a gift for someone and they don't give you something back. You're stressing about all this stuff because you got money problems. You got people wanting gifts and like someone else is going to get you something. So you feel like you have to get them stuff. And it's just, I'd rather sit at home and watch football. But there is no football games on Christmas Day, sadly. I don't think. Is there? No, there's not. There's not.
No, there's not. It's on a Wednesday this year. So
yeah. But anyways, since it is Christmas, we got to get into the spirit a little bit. So I will start with you, Mr. Jackson. What is your favorite Christmas present you have ever received?
Well, that one's actually pretty easy. My favorite Christmas gift is something I'm still using to this day. Excuse me. Dude, it's midnight. I'm messing up out here. Excuse me. It's something I'm still using to this day. I got it. Lucas has lost it, bro. He has lost it. Okay, so back in 2000. Yeah, drink your Mountain Dew, bro. Y'all, if y'all watching on YouTube, I don't think I've ever seen Lucas this red, bro. Like ever. Anyway, I got a very special Christmas gift back in 2010. I still use it to this day. It's my truck. It's my car, man. I've had this thing for going on 10 years now.
Wait, is it a truck or a car?
It's a truck. But some people are like, oh, hey, you call it a truck, man. What the hell? Or you call it, they're like, no, it's just a car. So I don't know. It just depends on what part of the area you're in. I call it a truck because that's what it is. It's a pickup truck.
Well, I call my Xbox a PlayStation, I guess. If whatever. If people wanna be like that.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, but that's definitely my favorite gift that I've ever received.
All right. We'll stay on you because you got
Oh,
the hot mic right now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
also, did you know that when I received it, that was the only white Christmas I ever had? Like, it was snowing that day.
I didn't know it snowed in Texas.
It never does. So that's what made it extra special. I've only ever been a part of one white Christmas that I know of.
Well, it does snow in Tennessee every year, and I don't know if I've ever had a white Christmas. Maybe some light flurries in the middle of the night or something.
It's gonna be like 75 this year.
And Jackson gonna
So-
be suntanning, my man.
I'll be suntanning on the back porch, bro. That's what it's gonna be.
But you obviously have the hot mic right now after what just happened. So I gotta keep
lay
it
it
with
on
you.
me.
I gotta keep it with you, J Dog. All right.
Mhm.
For anyone under the age of like 14, just get off the pod now, dogs. All right.
Get off of it.
Yeah, or fast forward like 10 minutes or something when we're not talking about Christmas anymore. So how did you find out that Santa Claus wasn't real, Mr. Jackson?
Okay, this is how I found out. I think it was like 9 years old or so. 9, maybe 10, probably 9. And it's actually kind of a funny story. I was at the doctor's office with my mother, and it was right around Christmas time. I was getting like an annual checkup or something physical. Anyway, excuse me. She was very upset with my brother. Those of you guys who don't know, I have 2 brothers and a sister. I'm the oldest. But the next youngest brother, Harrison, he was a snooper in his younger days. So he'd like to your parents would hide the Christmas gifts around the house, or they would hide it like she used to hide it at her school, at her job, or my dad would hide it at his work if it was anything crazy. But they really started hiding it after this year. So Harrison really wanted to know what he got for Christmas. And he had been asking for, this is how old ago this was, like the original like iPod Shuffle. But it was like the colored ones or whatever it came out for the first time. It was like a burnt orange iPod Shuffle.
Like the size of your thumb?
Well, no, because that was like a different one. I guess it was I don't know, was it a Shuffle? It was an iPod. But it was I don't know, probably yay big or so.
Oh, I was thinking of the one that's like this big. It's like a little square.
Yeah, I used to have one of those. I used to have one of those whenever I was working out. But this one was like a one you could select.
Yeah, I got you. It's like one of the first. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, one of the first generations of iPods.
Yeah.
But it was burnt orange, and that was his like favorite color at the time. He loved burnt orange. And so he snooped around and he found it. And my mom lost it. Jelani got so upset because I was supposed to be his Santa gift,
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me. She just like went ballistic because Harrison went around and he found it, and he got so excited he couldn't contain himself and let her know that he found it. Big mistake. And she was just like, I can't believe you. Part of the fun for me is a surprise, et cetera, et cetera. She was mad at him for like a full month. Anyway, so I was at the doctor's office and she was venting to me and telling me that this was supposed to be his Santa gift or whatever. And I'm all of 9 years old. And I'm like, Santa's not real? Like, and then she was like, oh.
Yeah,
right.
You have the oh no moment.
So then that was a whole nother can of worms, but it's fine.
That's awesome.
See, I was like 9. How old were you?
So I think I found out after that. So I found out in 5th grade.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think if that was like 16, 15. I'm counting back from like sophomore year. And then 1, 2, 3. So like I was like 12.
Yeah,
11?
I feel like that's right around that year, like 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Like in that area.
Yeah, I said 14 earlier because I thought that was a good buffer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, so I was just at school waiting in line to go outside for recess, right?
Yeah.
And I hear these guys talking about Santa, and one of them's like, you got like those kids that are like, they're like not he wasn't like part of the bad crowd or whatever because like you're 12, like there ain't a bad crowd, but like there's the rougher kids,
Yeah.
like the ones that are like over there punching each other in the hallways and stuff. It's for fun. Like when
Oh yeah,
we went
those.
out,
Oh,
yeah, like
whatever.
we went out for recess and like they were wrestling. I was playing kickball. So
Oh, kickball.
yeah,
I
game,
miss kickball
yeah, game of the century, bro. All right, that was
for
it.
sure.
Um, anyways, so I hear him talking over my shoulder, and I just like turn around and start listening, and get to talking to them, and they're just like talking about how Santa ain't real and stuff. And I was like I was always kind of like, like I had heard my parents in the middle of the night doing stuff before, um, or like, I'd been super late. Shut up, Jackie.
Yeah.
I'd been up super late. They thought I was asleep, and I like went to use the bathroom or something, and I like they were still up, and it's like 2 in the morning. And I'm just like, what are you guys doing? You know, um, but that was when I like truly found out he wasn't real. But
Yeah.
I let my parents think that I believed as long as I possibly could keep it up because like they told me I would get less presents if I didn't believe.
That's what they say. They're like, all right, you stop believing, you stop receiving.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
what we.
hey,
That's
I
what we
like it.
got. That's what we got taught. And then, but eventually, until my mom spilled the beans when I was 9 years old, then she felt bad.
So I asked you your favorite gift. My favorite gift was we didn't live in the house I live in now. We lived at our old house. I was little. I forget how big I was. But I got my first 4-wheeler for Christmas,
Oh, nice.
and it had like it hadn't snowed, but I remember our driveway was frozen.
Oh, okay.
Like it was frozen over, like it had iced over.
Yeah.
And so my first memory of getting to ride that was on that ice in our driveway, and I just remember like my parents standing there laughing and also probably scared out of their mind because I was just doing donuts on the ice, and it was
How old were
awesome.
you?
I was little. This was a little 4-wheeler. I was like second grade or
Oh,
third
wow. So
grade.
you were young. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started super
So you're like
young.
7.
Yeah, like I got a dirt bike and a 4-wheeler. Like by the time I was 7, I probably had both.
Wow.
Small ones, of course, you know.
Well, yeah, little minis.
Yeah,
But
but it
you're just
was
doing donuts out in the driveway and it's
yeah,
all iced over.
yeah. And I I thought it was awesome. I didn't have a racing 4-wheeler or anything, but it had a little flag.
Oh.
Had a little flag that stuck off the back, and I was like, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
thought I was the best thing ever. So I was doing that, and it was a great time. Great time.
That sounds awesome. Dude, I bet Little Lucas was fun.
Little
Like,
Lucas
I
was
bet
fun.
if we hung out
All right.
like in school, like we would have a good time.
1000% Little Lucas was fun. He also got caught cheating on his second grade spelling test. So
Lucas.
yep. I was thinking of second grade, and I was like, what else happened in second grade? And I
I
remember
was
getting
such a stickler in school, dude.
well, it
Like,
was just
like,
that one year. Wait, what do you mean?
yeah,
Like you were like super stiff at school
like
and stuff?
I was super like strict about like my own studies and stuff. Like I didn't let anybody cheat off me or cheat on anyone. It was like high school, bro. Like I was a sophomore in high school, and then I let my buddy for the first time like copy my homework. I was a smart kid.
So
I know it's hard to believe,
I never
but
liked that stuff. Um,
I never liked it either. But
and the reason I never liked it was because I felt like other people were, you know, like other people are getting a benefit from like the work and stuff that you put in. So I never thought that stuff was cool. I was pretty anti that stuff. Now I was okay with like if
I only let my
I didn't do my homework, like copy some homework or something, but I really didn't like cheating on test and like
I don't think I ever cheated on a test. I definitely didn't. I know I let some people copy my homework before. I didn't like it, but it was like my inner circle. So like my best friend.
oh yeah, you only let your
limited it to
buds
like
do it.
one person,
Yeah,
two people
when you're
max.
cool with some pals. But anyways, I'm trying to. You got any good Christmas stories? Any quick
Christmas
ones?
story.
Any quick ones? Because we need to move on.
Okay, so my brother, he used to be a daredevil. I swear. Okay,
Come
little
on,
Carter.
Carter.
Okay,
Yeah.
he was like 6 years old at this time, and we used to bring out this huge wooden ladder, it's probably like 20 foot. It's actually still in my parents' garage, but we would bring it out every year because we would hang lights up and go around the house and hang up different decorations like wreaths and stuff, But Carter would take this opportunity and get to the top of the ladder, right? All of 6 years old, okay, little bones and everything, okay, and he would just jump off the top of the 20-foot ladder, and he would make like a little small like cushion area, right? Like a small little pallet of like a blanket and a couple different pillows, and he thought he was the bee's knees, bro. That was his favorite thing to do, was jump off the top of the ladder, and he would like test himself every year. He would go up a little bit further. Like he'd go 4 steps up, first grade, second grade, he's pushing it up to 6 steps.
Ooh.
Right? Third grade, he's going all the way to the tippity top. Right.
Right.
Like he's
right. We at the tippity top.
He would just
but we still climbing.
increase it every year. And then I don't know, after like the first year, my parents were like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, don't die.
Don't
You'll
die. If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
Mm-hmm. That's right, little Carter.
That's it. So one of my things is I remember the year that it did snow for Christmas.
Yeah.
I got to go hunting, and I thought that was the coolest thing until I got out there. Do you know how cold it is when it snows, Jackson?
It's gotta be below 32 degrees. I know that much.
But then, like it's not just so it's like 18 degrees right this morning.
Ooh.
And it's not just that it's cold. It's different when you go hunting and it's 18 degrees or whatever, compared to you go hunting, it's 18 degrees and it's snowing. Number one, nothing will burn your eyeballs out of your face like looking at a white field. All right.
Oh, yeah.
The sun reflecting off of that. And then it's just like it just feels colder. Like it feels colder than it actually.
Well, yeah, because you're becoming a little more wet.
You're in the snow.
Like as time passes in the snow.
Yeah.
And you're crunching and it's like slushy and you like your feet get wet. Oh yeah.
Do you like snow football games?
I love snow football games. I actually used to play like the one time it snowed one time when I was in high school, and it was like a blizzard. It was not a blizzard. It was Texas version of a blizzard. Really, there was like 2 inches of snow, 1 inch of ice, and everybody thought the world was ending. But I met up with my buddies and we played football in like the ice and snow or whatever. We're like, oh, this is so cool. And then you get hit and then you face plant into the snow and the ice.
Hurts.
And then you find out it hurts a little bit more. And the catch the ball is different. And it was fun, but I went home so bruised.
I used to always go sledding when it snowed. You didn't get to experience that, did you?
I did it once.
Yeah, you were starved of a childhood.
I was. We went on like this older highway, which is more developed now. This is like 10, 12 years ago, probably 10 years ago. And we just went up there to the top of the hill because like they were building like a bunch of like, it was filled to the top with dirt because they were kind of moving stuff around the highway. And we took like, I don't even know what we used for sleds. Anyway, but we went up there and we slid down there for like one afternoon when it was snowing. I went and met some friends up there. That was so much fun.
Yeah, it really is awesome. We used to just slide down like hills on a farm or something, or find a back road out in the middle of nowhere. It's got a hill, slide down it. So yeah, I ran into a bunch of ditches.
Ooh,
yeah, hard to steer on the ice. Imagine that.
Yeah, it is a little hard to steer on that.
But anyways,
I freaked out the first time I drove in ice. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it's freaky. So next up, I was thinking we'd talk about like college football playoffs because that is starting this week. The big boys are playing this week. So I just want to go over our predictions and stuff.
There'll be some good games.
I don't understand, Jackson. All year, everyone has talked crap about Clemson, and now all of a sudden it's like, yo, Clemson back-to-back world champs. What's up, dog? Like,
yeah, everybody. What's up then? Yeah, they're playing for real. It was kind of hard with Clemson because, like, I mean, who is the toughest person on their schedule? A&M.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, in my head,
they just haven't really played anybody, so it's kind of hard to tell if are they that good or.
Yeah, and this will be the true test, and I think it'll be good. So For anyone that doesn't know, the games is Oklahoma will play LSU.
Yes.
and Clemson is going to play Ohio State. So I think LSU is going to beat Oklahoma. I don't think it's going to be. There's a lot of people saying Oklahoma doesn't have a chance. I think any team has a chance in this
For
Final
sure.
Four deal here. And then I think I'm going to stick with my earlier prediction that I made weeks ago when I said that Oklahoma would make it because I'm a genius, right? Um,
It's scary. You're a dang prophet.
so so Oklahoma made it. I think LSU and Ohio State are both going to win their respective matches, and I think we're
Yeah.
going to an LSU Ohio State matchup in the end, and I think LSU will win it. Um, I've decided. I think LSU will win it, although Ohio State could. I would like to see Ohio State win, probably.
That would be an incredible game.
But at the same time, I love the LSU story. Coach O coming in, and then Burrow getting a chance. Right, he gave Burrow a
Yeah.
shot after Ohio State, like turned him away, and it made sense why they turned him away. I don't think they like mistreated him or anything, but I
Right.
definitely like the story and stuff. So
Little revenge for the Heisman.
yeah, just a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm on the same line of thinking with you. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think LSU beats Oklahoma. I don't think it's a blowout by any means, but I'm going to go with Joe Burrow on this one. And as far as Clemson, Ohio State, excuse me, we talked about Ohio State kind of having that switch, and I think Ohio State having to battle through a little more adversity than Clemson this year is going to benefit them.
Definitely.
Although Clemson has, they've won however many straight games in a row, they haven't been beaten yet. Have they really had a true test? No, outside of A&M. But I mean, even so, could Clemson surprise? Absolutely. They deserve to be there because they're the undefeated defending champs. But I just feel like Ohio State I feel like they're loaded across the board. And they have so many potential NFL players on that team. So I'm going to go with Ohio State and LSU as well. That's going to be a credible game. I'm not sure. I'm not confident to say who's going to win that game yet. I just know we will be incredibly lucky to get that game. And I feel like that'll be one of the most watched national championships in a while.
Well,
because it's not Clemson, Alabama, or Alabama.
Right. You're
Ohio
finally
State anymore.
you're getting some other schools that have big
Some
followings.
variety.
Right. They have big
Yeah.
following still, but they're not everyone's not hopping on the Alabama bandwagon every year.
Right. It's something different.
Or the Clemson.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And that's something that I love about the NFL compared to college is that yes, the Patriots have dominated
Yes.
with Brady when it comes to the Super Bowl. But also you feel like there's a chance. There's variety
Any given
in
Sunday,
it.
man.
Yeah, there's way more variety in it.
I remember, yeah, and you just never know. I saw the 14-2 2006 San Diego Chargers at the time. LT setting the single season record for rushing touchdowns, lose to a, I think it was a Baltimore team that had made the wild card. Just stuff like that, just out of nowhere. I've seen, a Peyton Manning high octane 14-2 leading the league in MVP, leading the league in touchdowns and yardage, and Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne on the same team lose to a random Charger team right at the very end. You've seen so many crazy things. You think the Ravens are not the Super Bowl this year. No, they're not.
I will say something that I believe is part of Peyton's legacy. As great as he is, there's a little bit of being great all the way until the end and then kind of choking. There's a little bit of that in there.
Yeah. He was always a really good regular season quarterback. And that's what everybody kept saying until he won the big one in 2006 against the Bears. But
yeah, it even happened in college. There are some people that accuse him of throwing throwing away their chances
because he just couldn't believe
or saving himself for the draft and all kinds of stuff. So but yeah, so since we are talking about the playoffs here, we're talking about NFL and stuff. We got to update on the playoffs a little bit. So I will let
Yeah,
you start with the NFC side.
yeah, a lot's been decided. The NFC playoff teams have pretty much all been decided, and we'll get to my team here in a minute. So right now, the teams that are in a lock are I'll read this for you here. But yeah, so far we have good Lord,
Choked.
pull it up. Yeah, Jesus. My Lord Jackson. All right, here we go. Usually it lets me see the standings here, but it's not. Okay, I'll do it off the top of the dome. Okay, so we got the 49ers. They're locked in. We have the Seattle Seahawks. We have the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings. We also have the New Orleans Saints, and then so those are all locked in teams. 1 and 2 seed are going to be determined pretty much next week. I know the Saints can't get lower than a 3. It's either going to be the Saints or the Seahawks at 1. Packers could possibly be 2, depending if they beat Minnesota tomorrow night. And again, we're recording the Sunday night. But the 4 spot is yet to be decided. Sadly, my Dallas Cowboys lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, which means it's probably going to be the Eagles representing the NFC East.
Nope.
As much as it pains me to say.
Nope. 8-8.
In the playoffs,
8-8 winning the division, Jackson. I got you, bro.
It's going to be crazy. So the only way the Cowboys get in, we need 2 things to happen. 1, we have to beat the Washington Redskins. If we don't beat the Washington, I'm going to lose myself. We got to beat Washington. Number 2, the Giants have to beat Philly. And that's a little bit of a tall order. And it's by no means a guarantee. So we need those 2 things to happen for the Cowboys to get in the playoffs, and then we would be in the 4 seed. So that's the way the NFC is looking a little weird right now. The Seahawks and the Niners play next week in Seattle, Sunday Night Football. Actually coming up for you guys. And that's going to determine not only the NFC West champions, but also the number 1 and number 5 seed. So whoever wins that game is going to be 12-4 and the 1 seed, and whoever loses is going to be 11-5 and an way overqualified 5 seed.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. So with the AFC, it's pretty much locked in. You know,
Yeah.
like the
Baltimore
Bills.
locked up 1.
Yeah, I was going to start with the Bills are getting the number 1 wild card spot automatically. Baltimore's locked up the 1 seed. You got the Patriots coming in because they defeated the Bills this week, so they're going to get their spot.
Yeah.
And then Kansas City and the Texans are going to round out the 3 and 4 seed there. Like I said, Buffalo. And then the last spot, as far as I know, there's like 3 or 4 teams that can get it in. So
there's some crazy.
Yeah. So number 1, I want to start with the wildest one. I seen this right before we did this, according to Adam Schefter. The Oakland Raiders have a path to the playoffs, Jackson. All right.
That blows my mind.
Yeah. So here's what has to happen next week. The Raiders have to beat the Broncos. That's a possibility. Yeah. The Ravens have to beat the Steelers. I don't know. The only thing that makes me think it may not happen is because the Ravens are probably going to sit some people, I would assume,
or maybe play a half, or they might sit Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and the Steelers have a good defense, you know.
But they just lost to the Jets.
They did lose to the Jets, like 16-10.
Yeah.
Or 13-10, something like that. I loved it. I needed that to happen. The Texans beat the Titans. Here's my problem with that. So part of me thinks the Texans are going to play all their people because they want to win, because they don't want to see the Titans in the playoffs.
Right.
Especially after just playing them twice. The other part of me thinks that there's going to be some people out. Will Fuller got hurt in the game against Tampa Bay, and he was out for the rest of the game with a groin injury. I don't think they'll play him at all. They need to save him for the playoffs. Deshaun Watson actually hurt his ankle in the middle of the game. He kept playing, but he kept messing with it and stuff, and they played so bad. The Houston Texans played so bad. They lost, or the Houston Texans won 23-20.
Mm-hmm.
and Tampa Bay literally had like 5 turnovers or 6. I think it was 5.
Yeah, it was
And
an incredible amount of turnovers.
yeah, and the game literally came down. It literally came down to Cameron Brate catching a 3-yard pass that hit him in the hands.
He dropped it.
And he dropped it. But and then after that, the Colts have to beat the Jaguars. Probably going to happen. So if those 4 things happen, the Raiders make it in as a playoff team.
That's not far out of the realm of possibility.
Exactly. It's like you expect the Raiders to beat the Broncos.
Yeah.
You would expect the Ravens to beat the Steelers probably, even with their backups.
I would argue that the Texans are more likely to rest their people than the Ravens.
I would too.
Because the Ravens have a bye because they have a locked up one. They have a bye the next week. So they don't want their players to get too rusty. But the Texans have the playoffs the very next week, and they have to get guys rested right before the playoff game.
Yeah, totally. I can see that. And then, like you can see the Ravens beating the Steelers, and you can see the Texans beating the Titans. If they're
I can definitely see the Colts beating the Jaguars.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the first one and the last one are probably going to happen.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, the Ravens beat the Steelers, the Texans beat the Titans, we're in. That just blows my mind.
Wild. That is absolutely insane.
There's another scenario where the Colts can make it in.
I thought they were dead.
There's 4 teams that can make it in. If the Colts, because I'm pretty sure the Colts won this week.
They did.
If the Colts win their game next week, the Titans lose, which could happen, and the Steelers lose.
Yeah.
Then they make it. And I guess if the Raiders lose too.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say because
if us and the Steelers lose, then and the Colts win, then yeah. So the Raiders have to lose, the Steelers have to lose, the Titans have to lose,
and then they gotta win,
and they're in.
That's not out of the realm of possibility either.
Exactly. And then you've got the Steelers, who if they win their game, and the Titans lose their game, then they're in.
Yeah, and Baltimore could be arresting people.
And then you've got the Titans, who we're win and we're in. We're the most likely scenario.
Yeah, you control your own destiny.
Exactly, and
what that feels like.
You knew what it felt like 4 hours ago.
Yeah, we choked.
Oh my God. So that's how the AFC playoff picture is kind of rounding out, and I'm pretty pumped for it because I feel like you can't ask for anything other than your team to have a chance to make the playoffs at the end of every year.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what though? The Tennessee Titans, we're going to win this week. We're going to end 9-7 for the 4th year in a row.
8-8, coach clap. It's bad, bro. We're either like 12-4 or 8-8. There's no in between.
Well, look, since we talked about our teams a little bit here, let's get on to the Hometown Heroes section. I'm going to go first this week, Mr. Jackson. Okay. All right? I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to let you collect your thoughts and whatnot. So I just talked about how the Titans can make the playoffs and stuff. But we need to talk about the game this week. And Jackson, me and you will talk a little bit about the game because I know we both got to watch it. But real quick, I just want to say my likes and dislikes for this game. So I'll start with the negativity. All right, the dislikes. No. I'm gonna start with the likes because one of the dislikes is going to connect to what me and you are going to talk about just a little bit. I just want to touch on it a little. So number one in the likes, we were able to score without Derrick Henry. I was really worried. About that coming into today. Yeah. I mean, Dion Lewis, he might have had 100 yards. If he didn't, he was close. And then Dalen Dawkins came up off the practice squad, nephew to Ryan Dawkins.
Yo, I texted Lucas middle of the game, and I said, Lucas, who is Dalen Dawkins, kid? He's nasty.
Nasty.
And then Lucas said, bro, he's nephew to Brian Dawkins, came up off the practice squad. I was like, this dude's got some quick feet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, I gotta love the fact that the offense works without Derrick Henry because I was really worried about that. The next thing I liked was that like no matter what happened throughout the game, all the negative stuff that happened and everything, we're playing the New Orleans Saints, and who I think are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I think so.
And with 3 minutes left in the game, we put ourselves in a position to win.
Yeah.
Down by 3 points. We'll talk about that. The last thing I liked was that we were able to get pressure. One of my dislikes last week was we couldn't get pressure on the quarterback. This week we snapped their streak of like snaps without sacks. Yeah, it was like 100 something or 200 something. It was something wild. Like the Saints are like the least sacked team in the league. We got to them like 3 or 4 times, I think, which is a pretty big deal against Drew Brees.
Huge.
Yeah. And so on to my dislikes. Number one, the offense stalled in the middle of the game. We start off first quarter 14-0.
Yeah.
We go up 14-0 on them. All of a sudden, we got 5 or 6 punts in a row. Throughout the second and third quarter, we punt the ball like 6 times in a row. The offense could not do anything. It was just terrible. I didn't know what happened. It made no sense.
Yeah.
The second thing I didn't like is that Tannehill held the ball way too long. Like, I know he's trying to make plays because we got to make plays to beat a team like this, but he took 3 or 4 sacks probably where he just sat there in the pocket and held the ball for way too long. He didn't get rid of the ball. Yeah.
Didn't need to take those.
Yeah, I understand he's trying to make a play, but you got to throw it away or something, And then the last thing I didn't like, Mr. Jackson, is that the refs blew the game.
We were talking about that at the end.
The refs blew the game. They missed a call that took the game out of the players' hands, I believe, and put it in their hands. And they essentially, their lack of making a call, their decision making, won the game for the Saints. It was over then. We were out of timeouts, everything. So, for those that don't know, if you would like to pause this and go to my Twitter, at LegoMyEcho, okay? Or go to any Tennessee Titans fan Twitter, or go to maybe Jackson's Twitter, at Jackson
Wallace with 2 Ks.
Yeah, weirdo 2Ks.
2K.
You should definitely go look. There's all kinds of NFL analysts and stuff that I've seen that have posted this on Twitter and everything. So what happened is, like I said, there's like 3 minutes left. We don't have any timeouts. We're trying to drive down the field and score. We're down by 3. And we throw a bomb to Khalif Raymond, who catches the ball.
30, 40-yard catch.
Yeah, catches the ball, gets us into New Orleans territory, like on their side of the 50.
Yeah.
And he takes like 3 steps. It was a catch. I agree with that part. Mm-hmm. And then he gets his head like destroyed. Like he gets straight hit in the face. Like shoulder to head, knocked him out.
Shoulder like right to his temple.
Whole body went limp. His legs folded, and he dropped the ball. He fumbled.
As any person would.
Who literally got knocked out. So as our player is laying dead on the field, he's just limp. He wasn't really dead, but he's literally not moving. The New Orleans Saints pick up the ball and almost run it all the way back. And normally, we've talked about this, about how the refs will, if someone gets hurt, and even if it's a clean hit, if someone gets hit and it knocks them out, they call a flag on it.
Yeah, they call it targeting.
Right.
Or unnecessary roughness, something.
Well, they didn't do nothing here. Literally did not do anything. This man is knocked out. He is unconscious on the field, Jackson.
I want to support you here. Not only was it a no call, a blatant no call, even the analysts and the people that were watching the game and calling the game, they didn't even say anything about it.
No one said anything.
That was a crazy hit. They were like, oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's 3 steps. Oh, yeah, that definitely was a fumble. Look at that. The ball's coming out. No one said anything about. And this dude led with his shoulder right into like this guy's temple or the crown of the helmet. And by definition, that's targeting. This is a blatant no call.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, could have killed the dude. Honestly, like it was a really bad.
Snapped his neck.
Knocked
him unconscious.
And no one talked about it or anything. So I thought I was maybe overreacting at first, but then I get on Twitter and stuff, and I see verified analysts that are talking about this and that are just like, what a stupid thing. Like, this is the NFL where we prioritize player safety more than anything else in the world right now.
And they've been really, especially like hammering down on that this year.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
it just blows my mind. It literally blows my mind.
I
The refs were terrible today. Literally everywhere they were bad today. But that was just amazing. I don't know what it is about the Saints. They get terrible refs. Terrible.
For real. I think those kind of I think targeting should be reviewable just like pass interference is.
So apparently, they asked our coach Mike Vrabel about it after the game.
Yeah.
He says that the NFL reviews those plays. That play was reviewed because it was a turnover. So it was reviewed. So they looked at the whole play. And and he said they didn't call it since they didn't call targeting or anything there. It's fine.
Can they in a replay call targeting?
That's the way I understood it. He said,
I would think they,
because they asked him about it, and he was like, "Did I think it was a bad hit? Did I think there should have been a penalty? Yes." But they looked at it, and obviously they didn't, and you just have to live with that. And I'm just like, what,
dude? Yeah, throw up your hands and disbelieve. I did too.
So
yeah, it was definitely targeting.
Literally makes no sense.
That's rough.
But we'll get on to you now, Mr. Jackson. I'm done.
All right.
Wait.
Sure.
Wait, I just want to. The reason I'm done is because the Titans are in a win and in situation. We can still make the playoffs, and that game didn't matter in the first place, but it made me mad.
You can
go,
and I will preface what I'm about to say with that fact that there is still hope for my Dallas Cowboys team. The scenario in which we make it in the playoffs is quite simple. If we beat the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles lose to the New York Giants, we are in. We would have a better division record and a better conference record, even though we each have one game over each other. That would put us over the top and into the playoffs.
Happening.
It's very straightforward, very simple. Whether it will happen or not, we'll find out next week. I'm currently not too optimistic, but Curtis, but Lucas is giving me some good energy vibes over here, so I'm feeling it.
You know, I like Curtis. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
You should. All right, getting into my dislikes. There's plenty. Number 1, we had 6 dropped passes by our wide receivers and tight end.
Chalk it up, dog.
6. Jason Witten, the GOAT himself, dropped 1. Michael Gallup dropped 2. Cooper dropped 2. And I believe Cobb dropped 1. Everybody dropped a ball this week. It was bad. Very bad. So, 3 or 4 of those would have been for first downs. So 6 drop passes, that's a problem. Number 2, I'm very concerned about Dak's shoulder. I feel like this is one of those things in the season where it's being covered up by shots and painkillers. And at the end of the season, when the playoffs are over with, he's going to have an MRI or have to have surgery because it was really serious during the season, and then it's going to be used as a scapegoat for why they didn't do as well. I've seen a million of those throughout me watching the NFL during my years. Someone gets hurt during the season, they kind of play it off because they want him to be able to play, and it ends up being way more serious than it was first thought about. So I really am concerned about his shoulder. I won't be concerned about it if they come out and say after the season, yeah, he actually is fine. That's the only way where I'm going to feel okay about it. He missed a couple of wide open guys. I know they dropped 6 passes, but he also missed 3 or 4 wide open routes that would have enabled first downs. Number 3, Zeke could not get going. He had 47 yards and no scores. He started to come alive a little bit towards the second half. Had a couple 10-yard runs, but didn't do anything too impressive. He struggled against Philly, and that concerns me because typically against Philly, he's averaging right around 100 a game. But this time he had right around 100 yards less than that. So something's going on. Our offensive line's also banged up. Connor Williams went out for the game. We also had backup left guard go out for the game. So we had our backup center playing left guard. That definitely did not help. So I'm worried about the offensive line going into week 17.
Same.
Quick note on the injury report. Leighton Vander Esch is supposed to have an MRI tomorrow. As we're recording this Sunday, he's supposed to have an MRI Monday. We will have gotten those reports by the time this episode airs. But he came into the league with a pretty bad neck issue. And he got hit in the middle of the season right in that same spot where he's been having kind of that neck pain. So he's having an MRI. We'll see how that goes. He could either be shut down for the rest of the season, which is probably what they're going to do, or he'll be good to go for our last game. So that'll be a something to keep an eye on as well. My final thing that I dislike, we lost to practice squad players. Literally, the Eagles are on their fourth best cornerback, other than Malcolm Jenkins, who was on Amari Cooper the entire night. But they're on their fourth best corner. They're on like their fourth running back. They're on their sixth wide receiver. Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson out. Darren Sproles out. Jordan Howard out. Gosh, I think they had 2 or 3 defensive players out. The list goes on and on with how banged up they were. And they had to bring players on the practice squad to fill out their 53-man roster to have an NFL game. And that's who we just lost to. Keep in mind that this Philadelphia Eagles team lost just the other week to Miami. And I've said this multiple times. Well, for a kicker to punter touchdown reception to end the game. We lost to that. So it ain't looking too pretty over here, man. It ain't looking too. But like I said, to preface this, we still control our own destiny. Did not look good against the Philadelphia Eagles at all. We continue to struggle on the road.
You do sound pretty depressed, Jackson.
I told you, man. It's gonna be part depression pod.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna spice it up here in a second.
It's all good. We're at the end of the day, we're gonna end up with a new coach and a new culture, and hopefully that kind of re-energizes the team. That's what I'm going for.
Well, I'm gonna try to re-energize you a little bit here. It is time for Take It or Leave It, Mr. Jackson.
Oh yes, this is my favorite. Take It or Leave It.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Take It or Leave It is a segment we do kind of towards the end after we do our main topics we talk about. We do this every week. Most of the time it's me. Jackson did it last week. We're going back to me this week. I asked Jackson like anywhere from 5 to like 7 things or whatever, and I say take it or leave it, give him a scenario, and we talk about it real quick. Yeah. Excuse me. So take it or leave it, Mr. Jackson. It was past time for Darren Sproles to retire. Because he's going to retire at the end of this year.
Yeah. You know, he's been banged up an awful lot this year, and that makes me lean to say take it. If his body just couldn't take it anymore and the physical abuse is just too much. A running back in general, if you have a good one, lasts about 10 years. 10 years if you have a really good running back. He's been going for 15. I remember when he was playing in San Diego next to LaDainian Tomlinson, doing the stuff that he's been doing now. Also had a good career with the New Orleans Saints. Incredibly elusive player, incredibly underrated. I'm going to say take it, though, because if he's been out for the majority of this year, which he has, that tells me maybe he pushed it 1 year too far.
Right. I'm also going to take it. I agree with you. So next up, take it or leave it, Mr. Jackson. Drew Brees will retire at the end of this year.
That is a scenario in which, welcome back. That is a scenario in which it depends on if they win a Super Bowl. I think if they win the Super Bowl, as you predicted at the beginning of the year, and as I have also jumped on that bandwagon with, we've been talking about that for a long time. If they do win, I think he's done. I think he's done pretty much everything he can do in his career. He will have won 2 Super Bowls. He leads the league in every passing category in terms of records. He's an automatic first ballot Hall of Famer, even if he doesn't win another ring. Time to move on. I feel like the Saints especially if they win this year, there's going to be some extra pressure on Breeze, and they'll never do it to his face, but it'll be kind of in passing, like, all right, Bridgewater's on his contract year. You just won, right off into the sunset, kind of like Ray Lewis, and just retire. If he doesn't win, I think he plays another 2 years. But I think
2
if he
years.
wins, he's done. Yeah, 2. I think he plays 2 more if he doesn't win.
I can see that. I pretty much agree with you. If he wins, I think he'll go out. If he doesn't, I can see 2 years, or maybe even just I could see one more year. But like he's been really good.
2 max.
Yeah. It's getting to be about that time.
I don't think he's going to push 20 years like Brady.
So, take it or leave it. Tom Brady will end up, in the end, he will end up being the better quarterback. He'll be the GOAT quarterback, right?
Uh-huh.
But Breeze will hold all of the records over him.
Yeah, take it. Obviously, Brady is going to have more rings than Breeze, unless Breeze plays 5 more years and catches up, which I doubt. That would be insane. And Brady's been he's been on a great team for so long. It's 11 straight division titles. This entire decade, he's won the AFC East. I can't remember a single time in any major sports history where one team has dominated their division for so long.
Yeah.
I'd have to go way back to like the Yankees in the 50s or something to even get close, I think. So him and Belichick have had an incredible career. Brady is the GOAT. Even though Brees is going to have the records, I feel like you got to put the nod towards Brady in terms of having a better quarterback career, even though the stats don't match up. And he's number 2 or 3 in all of them anyway. Like he's right up there.
I'm going to leave it because I do think the Saints win the Super Bowl this year, and I think Breeze ends it. And I think Brady plays another 2 years.
Really? Yeah.
And so I can see, like they're kind of neck and neck in some stuff. If Brady goes to another team next year, and they got some actual weapons around him and stuff, I'm just gonna leave it because I can't definitively say it won't happen. But like, part of me wants to also take it because it's like he probably won't be able to pass him up on some of that stuff. Obviously, he won't pass him on all of it. But there's some of the stuff, like the one that he just hit the other night, that Brady's still kind of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you add the postseason, you add the postseason and stuff, I seen that Brady is ahead of Breeze.
Yeah, by far and away.
But just strictly speaking, regular season, like I'm kind of torn, so I'm gonna leave it just because I'm torn.
Yeah, and it's very possible that Brady could pass him up, but given that scenario, if Breeze has all the stats, but Brady and they both end their careers, who am I going to lean more towards as being, quote, the GOAT?
Oh, Brady's the GOAT no matter what. I don't either way. He's the GOAT.
Okay,
it doesn't matter. He's already slated as a GOAT.
Yeah. Maybe I misunderstood your question.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Well, it was kind of both. It was kind of two things.
Gotcha.
So take it or leave it.
What's up?
So some footage has come out of Odell being mad today.
Yeah.
And getting up in his coach's face and stuff, and like he was yelling about some stuff. He didn't look like he was necessarily like yelling at the coach, but like he was mad about something that was going on.
Yeah.
And so take it or leave it, OBJ is actually the bigger problem with the Browns than Freddie Kitchens is.
Leave it. I think Freddie Kitchens is in over his head. I feel like he was a really good position coach / coordinator. He's position coach. He skipped a level and went straight into the head coaching job, and just simply wasn't right for you. That's not to say he couldn't one day be a really good head coach, or that he's not a nice guy, or that he doesn't mean well. I just feel like it happened for him too quick and too fast. But I would put more of the blame on him and the players. I think the players' lack of discipline and penalties and the culture within Cleveland and all the hype that was going into it this year. And and them not being able to deliver on that, I put that more on the coach than I do on a single player
Right. I totally
than
agree.
OBJ.
I do think OBJ is a cancer on any team he's with.
Well, yeah, he's a wide receiver diva.
Right, but I think it comes down to the head coach to be able to manage your players, and I think it's another aspect of the game that he has not been good at in terms of being a head coach.
Yeah, I think so.
Last one for the boys right here, for your boys, for the Cowboys.
The boys.
Take it or leave it. Garrett will be fired the moment that the game ends Sunday.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. If we win, this is happening simultaneously. The New York game and the Philly game, and our games happen at the same time. If we win and Philly loses, then Garrett's going to keep his job for the playoffs. If we win or lose, if we make the playoffs, he's going to keep his job through the playoffs. If we lose, then I think he's fired within 48 hours after.
So I'm going to leave it because I think y'all are going to make the playoffs.
I appreciate that.
Also, I think since Garrett is his pal, his buddy, to make it look better, he just won't re-sign him.
He just won't resign. He'll just let him explore other opportunities. He won't fire him.
They'll just move on.
You're probably right. You're probably right. They'll just move on. In fact, but we're going to have a new coach next season.
Yeah. Well, I think he needs to Sorry, I didn't mean to hit my mic. I think he needs to come out and just be like he needs to come out and say something. He needs to be like, Jason Garrett is done. He will not be returning as a Cowboy head coach next year.
Yeah, that some kind of statement like that needs to be said. Other than we're just not re-signing him. You need to say something like, we will be moving on, and you could say it whatever language you want, but you need to say a statement needs to be made saying we're searching for a new head coach.
Totally. I agree.
I completely agree with you. Whether that's they don't resign him, whether he fires him and there's a whatever, I don't care. We just need a new head coach.
Whatever happens. So that's it for Take It or Leave It. All right.
I love Take It or Leave It. It always brings you right back.
We got to get on into the recap from the games that we had picked. So the Bills lost to the Patriots, the Rams lost to the 49ers, the Cowboys regretfully lost to the Eagles, the Saints beat the Titans because they paid the refs. The Chiefs defeated the Bears, and the Houston Texans beat Tampa Bay, although for some reason I have it marked that Tampa won.
No, Houston won that one.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Michael Thomas on breaking the single season reception record.
It shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have had that chance to do it. He got it on the last drive after the hit. It was stupid. Don't care about him. He's ugly.
I was just throwing that out there.
He's ugly. Okay. So the record's now Jackson.
He's ugly.
So you are 67-45.
Let's go.
I am 61-51. This week did not bode well. I went 2-5, 2-4. Yeah, I went 2-4, and you went 5-1. I mean,
yeah.
So,
yeah, we didn't count the Green Bay Minnesota game because we were recording this late Sunday, and that game hasn't happened yet. But
I hang my hat in depression.
The only game I got wrong was my boys. That's all right though.
Yeah, I came the Houston game. I literally lost by 3. The Titans Saints game got cheated.
Yeah.
SMH. So, anyways, let's get into our picks this week. We got some pretty big games.
Who we got this week?
First up, starting with the college football playoffs, you have Oklahoma and LSU.
I am taking the Tigers. Go Tigers.
I am also going to go LSU. For anyone that can hear my dog barking outside, I am super sorry.
I can't hear it. I think you're okay.
That's good. All right, Clemson and Ohio State.
I'm going to take Ohio State. But they can hit that switch.
I'm also going to take Ohio State. I think Clemson is good, but honestly, I don't think they belong in the top 4. I understand why they're there. They should be where they're at right now, but I don't think at the end of the day they are the top 4 team.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Next up, going into
maybe a closer game than we think.
It'll be a good game. It might be close. It'll be close at times at least. Uh, Going into the NFL, we have the Titans at the Texans.
All right, I am going to take your Titans. I told you they would split the series. They lost the last one. They're going to win this one. I'm taking Tennessee.
I
And
like the way you
make
think.
the playoffs.
I'm also going the Titans. I think they'll win, especially if the Texans are resting. People will definitely win.
For sure.
Redskins at the Cowboys.
I gotta take my boys. We better not lose to the Redskins, man. We better not lose to the Redskins.
Man.
Oh my gosh.
I'm also gonna take the Redskins or the Cowboys. Sorry, woo, that was spooky for a second. I'm also gonna take the Cowboys just because I feel like the Redskins are terrible. They're so bad. The Cowboys are bad, but like the Redskins are real bad.
Yeah. Although it would be in Cowboy fashion for choke against Washington.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Can you imagine? We would watch First Take for 2 weeks with Stephen A.
No, it's already gonna be unbearable this week.
Yep, it's gonna be bad.
I'm gonna love it actually.
He's gonna do his cowboy hat dance with a cigar.
49ers at the Seahawks.
Oh, I've been wrestling with this game because here's the thing. Earlier on this year, I would have picked Seattle, but for some reason they keep struggling. They've struggled over the past month, and I don't know what it is or what's going on. I mean, they just lost to Arizona. They're in Seattle, and that's an incredibly hard place to play. But I'm taking San Francisco.
I'm also taking San Francisco. Russell Wilson has not looked the same this month.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if somebody's hurt. I don't know if something's going on with the offensive line. I don't know if it's Gordon, what's going on, but something's happening. And over the past month, he has dipped down significantly.
Yeah. I think the 49ers haven't been playing as good lately either.
They haven't.
And I don't see either one of them making it to the Super Bowl. I don't
think so either.
No.
Probably an NFC Championship berth, but I think New Orleans beats them. But I think San Francisco's more talented, and they've proven to me they can go on the road and win big-time games this year. So I'm taking San Francisco.
Because Steelers at the Ravens. Big playoff implications for the Titans.
Yeah, now this is kind of tricky because do Baltimore rest their guys? Because obviously they locked up the number 1 seed. They don't want to have Lamar Jackson get hurt, freak accident. But at the same time, you don't want your guys to get too rusty because you do have a bye the week after because you locked up that number 1. I still think even with the backups, the Steelers are also playing with backups, and they just lost to the Jets. And I think RG3 can take them to a win without Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to take Baltimore, even with backups.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Ravens. If the Steelers wouldn't have lost to the Jets today, then I would definitely be voting for the Steelers right now just because I would need it, and I would be following my heart, not my brain. Right now I'm following my brain, and I think the Ravens beat the Steelers. The Steelers are bad. They don't have a quarterback. They're bad.
Yeah.
Also, James Conner got hurt in this game again. Again,
man. Again.
Last game, Eagles at the Giants. Big playoff implications for the boys.
I know who I want to pick. And you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go with my heart. I'm picking New York, the Giants. Saquon. I put my faith in you, sir.
Bro, so we are the same pick on every game this week.
Are we really? Are you taking the Giants?
I am taking the Giants.
Wow.
Copycat. I don't think the Eagles should have won today. I think the Eagles are bad. I think that whole division's bad. I just think the Eagles are just real bad.
They went to overtime last time they played. So
with a healthy Barkley and a healthy Daniel Jones, I like the odds.
I'll take it. We're not out of it yet. There's still hope, Mr. Lucas.
I think you can do it, buddy. You can do it.
You know, I'm gonna do my best over here on the sideline, cheering,
1,000%
screaming at my TV.
Have hosts or hope.
Yeah, man. I am ready. I'm ready for it.
This
was a good episode.
It was. It was. I liked it. So just real quick for me and
Very
Jackson
festive.
both, everyone, happy holidays. Hope you have a great time celebrating with your family.
Yes.
Doing whatever you do, giving gifts. Both are exciting. Um, just getting to chill off from work, all that stuff. Hope everyone has a great week. Um,
Absolutely.
Football is obviously going to make the weekend amazing, even if your team loses, unless your team is the Titans or the Cowboys and your name is Lucas or Jackson, because if those teams lose, we will have a hardcore depression pod.
Absolutely.
I will lose all reason to live and
Same.
operate as a normal human being of the society. So we'll start coming in pretty much looking like hobos and homeless
Hey,
people. So
here's the thing though. No matter what happens, we're getting into the nitty gritty of the NFL season. We're getting into playoff time. We're getting into
it's already started.
smash mouth. Yeah, smash mouth football. Okay. We only got this is the last week before the playoffs start, and we get into the wild cards and the division rounds, and we get into all of it, baby. I am super excited for all of that. Albeit, I will be way more excited if my team does make it. To be honest, I am human.
For us, buddy, playoff started today.
They did.
As soon as as soon as those games ended, or I guess they're starting tomorrow for the teams. But like, if I'm on the Titans, I'm watching film tonight.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, I am I am beyond ready for the rest of the NFL season. This podcast has been incredibly fun this year. This is our last podcast of 2019, Mr. Luke.
Is it really? Is it really the last episode? It is, ain't it?
I think it is.
Because this will come out on the 26th.
Yes. So our next episode won't be until January 2nd when we start off the new year with a bang.
Well, that's okay because we'll have a New Year's
It's
episode.
the end of the decade.
Yeah. Man, that's wild. Yeah, that is wild.
That's crazy, man.
But yeah, it's been a great time. We look forward to having another holiday special with the next one with the New Year's, right? Bring in the New Year's with us. That's right.
It'll be great.
We will be partaking in the most festivious of the festive festivities.
Most fastidious of the festive festivities. That is correct, Mr. Lucas.
That's it. We're ending it on that, folks. You guys know where to find us, where all podcasts can be heard. All right?
Yes.
Be sure to watch it on YouTube. Our videos are awesome. You love seeing Jackson's face.
We got Santa hats.
Exactly. Festive festivities of the festive varieties. All right? You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, anywhere that you can listen to a podcast. We are there. We're in there like swimwear, baby. All right? We're like cockroaches in all the cracks. All right?
All of them. Can't get us out.
Thank you very much. We love you. Bye.
We love you. Bye.